I'm back! I just wanted to show you this one because every guitar I have isn't either made by me or made by somebody else that's a sort of one-off type of guitar. This thing started out as a run-of-the-mill Fender Strat, but now it isn't a run-of-the-mill Fender Strat, it's nearly a run-of-the-mill Fender Strat. But I just want to pull it out and give you an up-close and personal view of this Strat, because as far as Strats go, regular run-of-the-mill Strats, this one's great. I'll run you through it and get a close-up view, get a feel for it, see if you want to go and buy one. You can't buy this one, by the way, I don't sell anything. Let's take a look. It's almost as if Jimmy was here right now. In fact, it's one of the reasons I bought it. I'm not a Jimi Hendrix, and neither are you. But don't let that stop you. You need one of these. Let's get it out. Let's take a look at this one, because this one, I really like this one actually. I don't know why, but it's just Jimmy. Let's get it out of the case. Well, here it is. No, and so am I. Fender Strat. I bought this in, hold on. I'll tell you when I bought it. I bought this in, when did I buy it? March 2009. So you could say that it's probably a 2008 Fender Stratocaster American Standard Strat Olympic White plus case. There it is. Paid ridiculous money for it, I don't know why. That's just me. We seem to get ripped off by these guys, don't you? You should ask yourself why sometime. Okay, well, I think what we'll do is we'll set the camera up so we can see it close up, because I have done some things to this one to make it a bit different than the one you just get off the shelf when you buy it. I didn't like it as it stood. It was too ordinary. I wanted it to look a bit more real, if you know what I mean. So let's zoom in and have an up close and personal view of a Fender American Strat from probably 2008 build. Ah, well, here we are. Fender American Strat. What's it say? American Standard Strat. It's one of the cheap ones. Well, it wasn't cheap by the time I bought it in England. I think at the time it cost me about £800. That's $1,200, believe it or not. That's how much you pay in England, or you did in 2009. Early 2009. I don't think they've gone down any since then. Well, what do I get? Well, what I got isn't what I've got now, if you follow me. So I'll run through the things that are pretty obvious, and then we'll start going through a few of the things that are pretty less obvious. Well, what's the body? It's probably an older body. I can feel down here, you might not be able to see it, but I can feel down here where it's sinking. You know, this finish is sinking into the wood already. Yeah, all down here. It's like very faint lines going this way. So, I don't know, maybe they just didn't dry the wood enough or whatever, but there's one of the things that's happening with this. Well, it's got a standard trem on it, except that it's a two-pronged trem, as they later moved on to, and they still have to this day indeed. Nothing special about that. It says Fender on the little bridge things, and oh, it's all hard work, isn't it? Well, actually, it's not too bad on this one, if you like that sort of thing. It stays in tune about as much as the rest, but you can still move these things sideways if you really want to. Like if you looked at the Black Arena up close and personal Strat that's got the Wilkinson trem, you couldn't do that on the Wilkinson. You can still do it on this, so they are movable and it does affect it. So that's one of the reasons I put a Wilkinson on the other. We've got the Fender one here. It's the usual type of sort of screw it on, and you know the sort of thing. You start it going like this and you whiz round a bit. Hopefully that's it. It's in there. Well, you can see it. It's just flopping around like. I'm sure you'll come up with some descriptor for what it's flopping around like. I can imagine what you'd come up with on the internet. Well, let's not worry. Well, so I had that as standard. I had the body as standard, of course, the neck's as standard. But hey, what's happened here? Well, you can see it doesn't look quite like a pristine Strat, or at least a pristine one of these. Well, it isn't. So I called up my friendly Fat Boy, if anybody knows Fat Boy. He's based in the Isle of Wight, and he sort of tweaks things around a bit. He can make these scratch plates, or pick guards you might call them, and you know, these covers and these knobs. He can make them all old. Really good. So does that look. That looks really, I don't know if you can see that. That looks old. So he's very good at doing all that stuff. So I ordered one of these off him and waited the number of weeks while I got it. And when I got it, in between, I was playing the Strat and I was thinking to myself, do you know, these pickups were awesome. Now these are the stock pickups that came on it when it was made at the end of 2008. So if you want to know what they are, just go look that up on the internet. I didn't do a bean with the pickups. I just kept them as they are. I think they're the noiseless type of things. But these are not those horrible noiseless ones that the Fender made. These are the ones that actually work, and they don't particularly affect the tone. So I'm really into them. They're great pickups, and that's why they went back in there. In between changing all this top bit and these, making these knobs dirty and having all this sort of stuff, I did actually do the copper shielding underneath, which always helps a Strat somewhat, and I put it right the way around the back of the plate, where anywhere where there were, you know, you could get wireless signals and the rest going straight in there. You end up with a thing called a Faraday box, which stops spurious noise from getting to the front end of your amp and then being amplified so people can hear it. That's as simple as that. That's all I did to the guitar there. It's all pretty boring. Looking at the selectors, once again, that's totally standard: volume, tone and tone. But this tone, actually, it's got this little nib at the end. You can feel it there. And what that does, when you have it fully round, it takes it completely out of circuit. So there's no tone between this pickup and straight out to the amp, which can make it a bit toppy, but once again, it depends what you're trying to do. For me, this is a great sounding guitar, and I really like this guitar. Not much more to say about it on this chunk, except that this thing, by the way, isn't hollow, so it's heavier than all those other Strats that I made, or assembled, or built, or call them what you will. So you get a bit of extra weight with this one. Does it help the tone? I don't really know. I'm not convinced about any of that. Let's have a look at the neck. Quick look at the neck. This will tell you, once again, it's a rosewood neck. I don't have, in fact, I think I've only got one Strat with a maple top on the neck. Other than that, they're all rosewood. This is a nice rosewood as well, this particular one. And medium frets, I wouldn't call them massive, well, bigger than some of them thin things that I have seen. But I wouldn't call them massive jumbo things. It also has a standard nut at the top. It's probably plastic these days, knowing Fender. But it's still a nice neck. It's got, again, it's to be honest, it's still that 62 style type of profile. It's not a big profile on the neck. I don't like big profile necks. I've got quite small fingers, as you can see there, if you relate to that. And the bigger the neck, the fatter at the back, the harder it is to play. You want to see me trying to play that 8-string, 7-string should I say. Okay, as you see at the top, it's just a regular Fender, old style neck shape, not one of these big fat ones from the sort of end of the 60s, 70s. It's also got one string tree that was on there as standard. I haven't modified the end of this guitar at all. This is what you get. Absolutely. Oh, that doesn't say motherfunker, does it? No, it doesn't. It says original contour body. That's what it says. Contour. Did I say that right? You American guys must have let me know. Contour. Contour. I don't know. It's a bit like drinking tea. Okay, they're regular tuners again. These are chrome ones, not locking tuners. Serial number Z something. Well, probably comes via somewhere called Mexico, maybe not. I didn't buy it as a Mexican neck, but that doesn't mean anything. I bought the guitar as the guitar, and it was a US version, so you'll figure it out. I know there's experts who know better than me about that. Got the regular things on there, serial number, the rest, all boring, but it does feel in shape rather like a Jeff Beck neck. And a quick look at the neck there, you can see it's got the skunk stripe, in fact, just like the Jeff Beck one. In fact, very similar neck. Maybe I paid more than I should have for the Jeff Beck one, just to have the little sticker on the top, who knows, but I don't think that's really true. The Jeff Beck neck is slightly different, slightly better, I think. But it's still a great neck, and for what I paid at the time, one of the reasons I bought the guitar actually. Here's a shot of the back of the body. Again, deep cut out, usual plate on the back. I can get at the string things. They've cut that out in the later years. Fender Corona California, it says proudly on its neck plate. 4-bolt, all mine are 4-bolt, so I always stick with that. I've even got the plastic still on the back of this, just looking at it. I'll leave it on there, it doesn't matter. There you have it. It's sinking on the back as well. It's quite amazing really once you actually look at it. I look after guitars, but I can't stop them having the finish from sinking into the wood. You don't get that on too many guitars either, unless they're usually really very old, but this one's, like I said, end of 2008. That would be how old it was made. Not much more to say on the back. It's got 1, 2, 3 springs in there. I've probably had it apart and put 3 in because I switched it to 9s on the strings, and the rest of it's boring. Let's go back around the front. Okay, well here we are back at the front. Like I said, not much to talk about really. It's a Strat, I guess. The modification from Fat Boy on the Isle of Wight in England, that's definitely worth doing. Gives the guitar a bit of a vibe. Doesn't play any better, but it just looks better. And I think if you've got a guitar that looks better, actually it can help you play better. It sounds stupid, but it's all in your mind really, I guess. But I'm sure it contributes in its own little way. So I bought an Olympic white one and had this done, like I said. All looks cool to me, nice green. He does such a great job, that guy. Another thing about Fat Boy, and I had to pay for all this stuff just as you will. I pay for everything that I ever buy, and I don't sell anything unless I'm selling it personally to get rid of, because I don't like it or because I decided to need the money for something else or whatever. But I don't make any money from anything I do to do with music, so other than my own albums, that is, just in case somebody's to ask. It's worth doing, and I know he makes pickups. I haven't tried Fat Boy pickups, but all intents and purposes, that guy is getting a bit of a reputation that his pickups are good. Well, he does a pretty good job, I'm told, and they're probably worth talking to him. I don't know. I'll be trying them at one stage. I did try bare knuckle, but and those were humbuckers that I tried, but I found that the bare knuckle ones were a bit toppy because they are scatter wound, less capacitance, so more treble. If they're wound uniformly, no matter what pickups you've got, you'll find that the treble's less treble, so they sound more of a smooth style pickup. So always remember, scatter wound pickups will give you a more of a treble, toppy sound. It's just one of the things I picked up. At my expense, I might add. I'm back. There is a little story to this guitar when I was buying it. And I always like to tell people about where I buy guitars from and whether I get any problems when I buy them or whether the dealer was an ass. Was that a donkey? I don't know. Anyway, I like to talk about them because if they're a bad dealer, I like people to know that. If they're a good dealer, I also like people to know that. I don't gain anything except that I pass on what I learn to other people, and that's always a good thing because I'm just like you. Anyway, here it is. These are the receipts and the bill and all the rest of it, and I bought this from Peter Cook's Guitar World, 9 Station Road, Hanwell, London. At that time, he's probably still there. He was there a long time, and he probably still is. And originally, I didn't buy this guitar. I bought an Ibanez, and it was one of those S-type Ibanezes, but it had got this, I I don't know, some Bubinga top or something weird. I don't know. I must have been snorting things at the time, but I bought it because it looked good. It was mail order, so I didn't know where I was getting. Well, basically, it came in the post, and yeah, I thought it was a Japanese one, and it wasn't. So I tried it out, but couldn't get on with it. They're just not made the same. At least I don't think they are. So I rang Peter Cooks up. I said, "Hey, dudes, I can't get on with this guitar. Can I bring it back? It's just as sold it me 3 days ago." "Yeah, you can come down, down in London." And we had an hour spare. And I went to Peter Cooks. I gave him the guitar and he checked it out. He said, "Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, do you want a refund or do you want another guitar?" I said, "No, I want another guitar. I want an Olympic White Strat." Got to be Olympic White. "Just the thing," he says, "just come in." Apparently these had just come in with that new style of case that you saw earlier. And that was the first time I'd seen one of them cases. So I looked at the guitar. It didn't have this on, remember. Well, that was done after. And I thought, okay, well, fair enough. But he wouldn't give me any discount. But he did change it. No ifs, no buts, no ahs, no quibble. So, well, he didn't help me so much on the price. Take that back now. He did help me in swapping the guitar out for something completely different, as they used to say on Monty Python. So that's what I did, and here he is, and I did the mods, and you're getting a up close and personal review. And that's the story behind the White Strat that Tony has. I hope you've liked this particular Strat, because you can go and buy one, just the same, and then you probably get one second user. There's nothing special about the Strat, except that it plays well, and it is well. And if you put one of these on, it even looks well. If you don't put one of them on, it didn't look quite as it should. Not for me. So I did all that. Fat Boy, remember him? He's another one. Great stuff. It's not the cheapest in the world, but you can tell he spent time on this. It's even yellowed. It's actually yellowed around where the pickup, from all that sweat that he didn't put on and I didn't put on. But it looks so authentic, man. It's just awesome. And don't forget to check them pickups out as well. I never have, but his service was good. They came here exactly as I wanted them. He even said to me, he said, "If you want this scratch plate with cracks, I'll supply it with cracks, so it will just look like a real sort of 62 style plate." And I opted not to have the cracks because I don't like cracks on it. It's too new a guitar to have cracks all over the place, so I didn't do that. But what I did end up with is a scratch plate that really does look like the 62 scratch plate that's never been cracked. That's it for me. Don't forget to go and look at the website. I always have to say this, www.tonymckenzie.com, and you'll see reviews of various different things, loads of stuff that isn't on YouTube, and it's all worth looking at. Also, I wouldn't point you there. On my YouTube channel, TonyMckenzie.com, there's a load of stuff on there too. So until next time, I'm sure there's going to be some more guitars and different things I'm going to be reviewing, and there's just my view, of course, always remember that. But I'm just like you. I don't gain anything from reviewing the kit, or in fact it costs me money. If I come to sell it afterwards, I lose money. And nobody gives me a bean, nothing, nout, zilch, as they say in England. So I am absolutely just the same as you, and if I want to sell some kit, it has to go on eBay, and I get what I can for it. So I don't have anything to gain, at all. I do it because I like to do it. How isn't that a refreshing change compared to some of these characters that you listen to, these pro musicians? See you soon.